This week's challenge for the Respawn recruits was to create an educational video. So I'm choosing to show you guys how I do my editing. Get out your pens, get out your paper, and let's go. So I use Davinci Resolve. So this is kind of going to be like a step-by-step. This is what mine ends up looking like. This is my like little library. Here's like my Respawn recruits week 3, week 2, my motivational speech, all of that. Anyway, so I go into an untitled project. It's going to look like this. Okay. Before I even add anything into my pool, I will create a new timeline. You can name it if you're going to do like multiple timelines. I have done it before where if I want a video in both vertical and horizontal format, I will make 2 duplicates, or like I will figure out where all my clips go and then duplicate it into a second timeline and then edit like the vertical one differently. In this case, we're just going to do a vertical video. This is going to be for short form. So this is going to be one of those videos. It's going to be one of my sussy clips. So I will unselect my project settings here. I don't rename my timeline. I don't really care. But I do go into format. I do really like, so this is if you want to keep it horizontal, and then if you want to use vertical, it will just automatically switch it. For some reason, 24 frames per second is in almost every video. I've seen 24 frames or this 29.97. I don't really know. I just keep it at 24. The only thing that I change is my vertical resolution. So now you have your little timeline here. All right. So here, then you can go into import media. You can also create bins, which is just kind of like a folder, is what I'm understanding. Things you can go this route, import media. Otherwise, I already on my other monitor have my folder open. Where's the one? Is it this one? So I can just click and drag into this, which is nice. It's up here. So here's my clip. This will automatically go on. This is now my timeline. I'm only going to be editing this one clip. It is, like I said, it's a shorter clip. It's for short form. I can show you guys a different day how I do some long form if you guys would like. Since I'm using a vertical format, I am going to use 3 layers of my video. So you can click and drag. Notice how it brings down another video, but then it also brings down another audio. I don't want that. Sometimes if they're linked, this over here will be selected, so then you can't get rid of it. If this button right here is selected, you can unselect, and then that way you can just get rid of it. If it's still selected and you go to delete just the audio, it will delete both. Oh, I have made a spreadsheet, Google Docs, where I want all of my coordinates to be for different scenarios. So this is for my vertical format settings. I don't want like a ton of blank space, anything above or below my video. And I also don't want it to be like absolutely minuscule on like your phone. Like you're not going to be able to see the entire thing. So you do have to sacrifice some of your like the stuff that's going on out here or over here. Okay. So I have different scenarios, like I said, that I've already mapped out, and like I adjust stuff as I need to, but these get me pretty darn close to where I need to like crop or anything like that, or like the position of my camera. So the top one, this is my face cam. So I then can go over here. This is the little settings. If I'm in this, it's going to be over here. This is how you can move all of, you can zoom in, you can zoom out, right? Like you can do all of that. Let's say I get to like here and I don't want it to be this zoomed in. You can just hit this and it will reset. Also, my X and Y are linked together. If you don't want it linked together, you can then, if you hit that, it'll unlink. For the most part, I keep it linked together. So I have my zoom at 0.86. I'm zooming out just a little bit. I might have to zoom out a little bit more and then just adjust as we go. But then here, my position. So this is basically X-axis. your y-axis up and down. I have it at -350 to bring it into frame. And then I have my y-axis at 610-ish, which then brings my camera all the way to the top there. However, I want to crop the rest of this to be as close to my like camera, just this area, as close as I can get. And with my rounded corners, it does make it a little bit interesting, but I have found a good workaround. So you'll just select your cropping. Okay, so I'm roughly at 2,657 for cropping. So we crop as close as we can. The right, with my camera being damn near pretty much touching the side, I don't have to crop too much. The top, I might have to take more. We shall see. If you need to, you can adjust this up and down depending, like, whatever you need proportionate wise. I normally will almost get rid of my audio and then make this pretty much like this for right now. Then that way I can zoom in. I still have like this little section. It's where my camera corners are kind of rounded. So I will add a softness, -6. And then it kind of adds like a nice blur effect. This next clip, the second in the middle clip here, is gonna be my gameplay clip. So you have to zoom out a little bit more. So we end up at 0.58. And then I want to personally get rid of all this right here, like this empty space. So here, I don't really have anything listed for like the top or the bottom on my cropping. And that's just more so that way I know I still will need to do it, but it'll depend on what game that I'm playing. Also, as you can see, whatever you have selected will be the layer that you are editing on. So I normally will just to about there. This bottom layer is going to be a layer where I'm going to add some zoom blur. And so this is helping prevent, like I said, the empty space below and above. You don't have to do this by any means. I normally zoom at 1.2, but like I wrote down here, it kind of depends on the clip or the game. I primarily will edit here. This is basically where I will stay in all of my editing. So now my last thing that I need to do here is on this clip, I'm going to add some zoom blur. So I go into effects. I personally have it favorited because I use it in every single one of my videos, basically. You just click, drag it onto that. And so now it adds like a nice little blur feature while still having like the gameplay behind your actual gameplay. A fun little shortcut that I found, if you highlight all of this, this is super helpful. You can move everything all together. Everything that's highlighted can be moved together. You can zoom in more if you want to get down to like the nitty gritty. This down here shows you where you're talking. So I know roughly around here is where I want to start. I don't want to start personally, I don't want to start like immediately right here. So I will allow a little bit of blank space before, and then I will just click and drag to bring all of that together. These are two that I found from this creator. He has a free version, which are for these two, and then he does have ones that you can pay for. Here on the screen, this is the effect of it kind of pops into place. And then once you like actually cut it, it'll pop back out. It's very like, it's just like a little bit of motion rather than like your text just randomly appearing. So I'm going to cut right here. You can add in another pop 24, right? So like you can create it or like condense it down. However, now when I go on to this next part, all of my settings have stayed the same. Right? So now all I really have to do for my editing is I will move it to the next section right? And then I just changed the words. Everything else has stayed the exact same. So that's why I recommend cutting. You're going to go down here. This is like our little render area. So right here under format, you need to change this to MP4. Otherwise, I mean, depending too, you can change it to like, do they have movie? I don't know. I always change it to MP4. Then I will title it. This is what it's going to be saved in your folder as. I don't change anything about this. You're then going to go down here to add to render queue. Here's your render queue. You can have multiple jobs in your render queue. You'll go down here, over here, down below me, right here, and go to render all. Since it's literally only like about 6 seconds, it doesn't take very long. Okay, I have to do both of them at the same time? If you want more of this type of video of me editing my short form or even long form content, let me know in the comments below. If you did like this video, please drop it a like. If you also like any of the content that I am putting out, please make sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube. Also, don't forget to hit that bell so then that way you get notifications the next time I post a video. Once again, hopefully see you guys next week. Fingers crossed. Bye, you guys.